What's up guys, and welcome to this tutorial in stress testing. So in this tutorial we're going to go through the basics of how you would stress test your application, and also how we're going to make a basic estimate of how many users your site can take, and also try to identify where the bottlenecks in the system are to figure out kind of where you should put your focus in the meantime, and try to make an understanding of how the application behaves when there is a lot of users on the site. So in order for you to follow along with this, you're gonna need to have access to the code, obviously, for you to make to peek into the code and analyze it. And obviously you also need access and have it running on your, preferably have it running on your computer to start with. And in the end, you also might want to make some tests on the live site that you're running. And we're going to get to that later, how we're going to do that. But this is the basic setup. So in my tutorial, I'm going to use this Swedish event planners application that I have previously built for a school project. And I'm going to use this as an example because it's not a real domain and there is no sensitive data, basically. And what this is, it's a React Native frontend that uses HTTP requests to a PHP API. And this makes it easy for me to demonstrate all the endpoints that we're going to use and how they work, because you can see the different groups here. You don't necessarily have to know PHP to follow along with this. It could be any API. You don't even have to be building it yourself. And this is just for demonstration purposes, obviously. So don't feel left out just because you don't know PHP or stuff like that. It's going to be clear to you in a while. So in order for you to follow along with these tutorials, I suggest you start everything up on your computer and have the application that you want to test available to you. And also, if you're not familiar with npm and you don't have that installed, I suggest you Google around on how to install npm. And we're going to use, so here is like how you install it. I guess you need to have Node.js installed also. And npm is just a package manager. We're going to use it for an application that or a package that's called load test, which we're going to use. So you can also go ahead and install that globally on your computer. So with this command from your terminal, you install like npm install -g and then load test, and you go ahead and install that and figure all the details out. And also what you can do is you can check the terminal that you have for it. So for example, in your terminal, let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. All right, so if you just type load test like this, you should get all the options that are available to you. So making sure that it's properly installed and all that. So in this tutorial, I'm going to use this version of load test, so 1.4.4. There shouldn't be any difference, I think, between the versions. That's that big, but if you want to have the exact same versions as me, this is the one that I'm going to use for the tutorial. So yeah, with that being said, and all the introductory, I think we're gonna go ahead and skip to the next. In the next video, we're gonna start up everything and test it. So basically, just to summarize, we're gonna start with an application that I have. I have an API in PHP that we're gonna test against. This front end right here, we're not gonna do any testing on because we're only gonna test the response times from the API. And if you don't know PHP, that's fine. You can still follow along. If you're new to programming or you're just a tester and don't know a lot of programming, that is also okay. You can still follow along. and you don't necessarily have to have it set up on your computer as long as you have something to test it against. And we're also going to go through that in the next tutorial. So I hope you guys liked it, and don't forget to subscribe and comment if there is any questions, and I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.